Hi guys, my name is Olutado Ketei and I'm from IOL. Thank you so much for making time for me today.
Hi, Olutado.
You guys blew me away. I am scared of what South Africa is going to say if my little self, was blown away and you guys did that. How was it on the set? Well, firstly, breaking Johnny, I see, and just getting into these characters that are so strong and powerful. Jonas, the danger. The danger.
No, I think it was great. I think it was one of those projects that we knew we had a responsibility to come in, and we came in there and we delivered, and Stained Glass really accommodated us. And really, it was nice to be in a set where you felt like the people there trust you with their work, and that sets the tone. And from day one, everybody, they came in knowing fully well, we have something special here. From reading the script, from working with the intimacy coaches, the stunt coordinators, everybody just came on board wanting to deliver something special and bring something of themselves and to leave it behind. So God was with us.
Can really tell everyone was connected. One thing I was taking from especially Joyce's character is about the public versus private perception. She's an influencer in her 40s, she's married, and when she has a crash out with the brand manager, you really get to see her that, I'm fighting a real life battle as much as I'm this public influencer. And, we also look at an influencer who's older, because we're also used to younger influencers, and she's a married influencer. How was it just walking that line? Because we see influencers glamorous, but now we're seeing that how was that, and how did you unpack those layers?
I think it's just as you're saying it. We know these people, and when you know these people, it's easier for you to portray, and B, it also becomes that much more powerful and that much more of a hunger and a need for you to portray the stories in an honest and authentic state. And there's just also beauty in knowing that at the end of the day, humans are humans. And it doesn't matter the life that you're portraying for the public. It doesn't matter the perception that you're trying to create. But ultimately, we are human beings. And at their core, human beings are flawed. And so you have to understand with every character, and with Joyce, there's just so many layers, as you're saying, to unpack with her. But to understand that this is a flawed human being, but also that it is a human being with so many emotions. And where there is sadness, there's also laughter. Where there's love, there's also pain. And it's just bringing all these and making it an amalgamation of one, really. So it's nice to show what they love. Okay, let's go on now.
Joyce's relationship with her mom is quite an interesting one, and I found myself having to understand it in one moment. I thought the mom was trying to push her to stay with this rich man, and then it goes on. Mbonutuma doesn't really want her to stay, but she wants her daughter to be happy. How was it just balancing that? Because back close, but there also is that, but I'm your mother, and as much as Joyce is the rich one, she's still, her mother is still her strong pillar. We see her supporting her throughout this journey. How was it just understanding that type of relationship?
And that was the conversation we were always having, because the background of the mother is she went through a traumatic time with Joyce's father, right? So that means, does she watch her daughter go through the same thing, or does she try and move the pieces and say, jump? And I think she's conflicted. One, we are to Joyce genuinely and honestly loves him. But again, Uyambona Futi as a man, or as as the husband of her daughter, okay, he's hurting her and he's doing things that are not really how maybe he promised her in the beginning of the marriage. So I think she's conflicted, because as anyone would be, you want, remember that I can't give away any spoilers, but basically, I think she's conflicted and she wants to tell her, move this and this and this, so that you protect yourself. But yet again,
tips and tricks.
give her tips as well on how to dress,
Leave
how
that
to
Fendi
appeal,
alone.
exactly, the Fendi tracksuit, So I think it's just a natural conflict that any parent would have. But again, how does she push her towards staying, or does she push her towards really choosing herself? So I think Nai or Grace, in a way, Mom Grace, she's also conflicted as any woman would be, especially my one with Uyamtanda at the end of the day, right?
The title sequence opens up with the fish and a bird, which I didn't get until we watched.
Yes.
But let's unpack that. I didn't even know there was such an analogy. It's quite powerful. How do we look at it, a fish and a bird, between Joyce and Jonas?
First of all, the bird does end up chowing the fish. Yeah, it's two flawed personalities, different personalities. Can they become one? It's again a mirror to society. There's so many people, and there's so many. You've all been through those relationships where you like the red flags are red flagging, and it's just this person. It's just not going to work. But as human beings, first of all, there's this innate nature of women to want to fix men. There's, without revealing too much, but Joyce does genuinely feel like, I made this man. He was not this person. I dusted him off. We made him who he is. And so I am bound to him and he's bound to me. And we have to continue running the race. We've now built this house. We must live in it. But just two different people in that grave nature. Can they truly coexist and be together, or will one trump the other? And we see here that eventually one does trump the other. Yeah.
A common topic throughout the series is unconditional love. Yeah. And it means different things to Jonasi, and it means something else to Joyce. Jonasi, can you unpack unconditional love?
I just know it.
Good question. I guess for Jonas, unconditional love is subordinate. It's submission. It's control. It's go back to the fish and the bird opening. How does the fish, bring all these different animals into his lair? That he's constantly trying to make all these women be the one thing that he wants to be, that he believes a woman should be. What else about Jonas? It's all these different things. And he's what I love is not just this one-dimensional being. He's a lot of things. And unconditional love, he doesn't know it. He's searching. He'll continue to search for it right till the end. Right till the
end. Speaking of him being a lot of things, he is a father. And we see a lot of complexities with his children. And his children are quite, Bume is very strong. Yeah. And we see him also trying to make his son, Umenzi, is strong. And there's that scene now whereby Bryce Day doesn't happen. And it kind of leaves him shaken. How would you describe Jonas as a father?
So you said his son is?
Umenzi is not as strong as a Bume.
Yes.
Because we see him struggling just to express his emotions, especially when it comes to his father. And Bume says it as it is to her father. And there's that clash because he says Jonas wants his son to be Bume, and Bume is the vice versa. I don't mind its sense. Yeah. So unpacking him as a father, and him now struggling to connect with his children. He has another child, Nakon.
Many.
So him as a father, how would you describe him, and how was it just looking at that? He's an African father as well. At least you like a little
Yeah. It's that. It's that idea that he is this black man that I want other black men to look at. and to view what's cut, not everything medicine you know, medics cool in that, it's told that, oh, we only it with tongue, and him not knowing it and never receiving it, it's a huge challenge, and a lot of men are facing that in our society, and I want when people see Jonas, especially men, that he's not a hero. He represents the entrepreneur, he represents the athlete, he represents the actor, he represents the politician. You know, he's all these people that somehow that we as a society praise and say, oh wow, they're so successful. But how did they get there? And how and what do they do to keep that? You know, we look at our industry, there's so many things happening at the moment. Certain people are in positions and they have wrecked the industry. But we look at them and say, it's quick to say, oh no, you know. So I want people to look at this character and to see that he is not a hero. He's not to be celebrated ever, but not to judge him. To really connect and look at themselves first.
Still on lessons, and as we wrap it up, there's a lot of lessons here. Sexual hygiene, gender-based violence, loyalty, toxic. What was the one lessons that you all picked up and you just, even in your personal lives, and you unpack the script and something you can take forward with you?
For me, it was a woman finally taking back her power and owning the narrative. That was so important. Even the topic of polygamy currently is seen through the lens of a man. And traditionally, polygamy was actually something that was began by the matriarchs of the family as they needed assistance within the household. And they took it upon themselves to go and find a suitable partner and someone who would be a partner not just for their husbands, but for themselves as well. But society has now, we have definitely entered an era where infidelity is now what is trying to be clothed as polygamy. A man just having an insatiable appetite and lust for more and more and more, and greed as well, and wanting to control also the woman. So seeing a woman taking back her power and having the story be told through the lens and the perspective of a woman, powerful. Mandala.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, I know my time's running out. But there's the scene when Jonas celebrates his birthday technically alone. But that's a big crash out for him. I mean, and I think the portrayal of how he's having the slice of cake at the end, and it's quite sad if you think about it. It kind of is like a turning point. What do you want us to understand with that scene?
It was 18 minutes.
Yeah.
We spoke about that scene actually.
Funny enough, our EP directed that.
Did she?
Yeah, she directed that scene. So I was like to her, what do you want me to do with this cake?
Oh, that is so interesting.
So she was like, no. Yeah, Zawin, I trust you. Just go. And then understanding the journey of Jonas, where he is at that moment. And that's who he is. That's that lonely child. That's that lonely black boy who's looking for something, who's in search. Because he's been everywhere. He tried going to the other wives, you know, looking for validation and looking for love and always left is what he loves most of all. Cake.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Having your cake.
Having your cake and eating it.
We were worried that he was going to pounce on the lady bringing the cake.
A target for Jonas. But I thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready for you guys to trend. I hope you
Correct.